Congratulations! You just survived another 8 hours of pretending to look busy while secretly calculating exactly how many fractions of a cent you earn every time you blink on company time. The corporate overlords have released you into the wild, but your brain is just booting up. You are not built for this cubicle farm. You are a predator and business casual. You need an empire, but you also value your free time, your sanity, and your utter lack of desire to touch packing tape ever again. You are not going to grind like a peasant. You are going to be smart about this. You decide the golden ticket out of the rat race is canine streetwear. Yes, dog hoodies. Not because you have a deep emotional connection to dressing up animals, but because you possess a functional brain and recognize an absurdly lucrative market when you see one. You understand the target audience perfectly. Childless millennials and empty nesters who treat their labradoodles better than themselves. They have disposable income, a desperate need for social media validation, and zero impulse control when it comes to their pets. You don't buy inventory. You aren't storing boxes of tiny sleeves in your living room. You are way ahead of that. You find a vendor. The arrangement is beautifully parasitically perfect. They manufacture the fabric. They sew the tiny hoods. They print the designs. They handle the packaging. They handle the shipping. They deal with the logistical nightmares of international freight. What do? You email them a logo, forward the shipping addresses, and intercept all the money. You are the architect. They are the bricklayers. It is the perfect legal heist. You need a brand identity, a minimum viable product. You don't overthink it. You don't spend 6 months workshopping brand synergies. You want something that looks premium, exclusive, and ridiculously overpriced. You mock up a simple, clean logo. It looks like a high-end streetwear label, the kind that drops limited collections that sell out in 4 seconds to hypebeasts. You digitally slap this logo onto a picture of a French bulldog wearing a tiny gray hoodie. The dog looks profoundly indifferent, which only makes the branding look more authentic. You name the brand something aggressively vague and monosyllabic. Now the sales funnel. You map out the energy architecture of your customer's journey. You build a website so minimal it's practically invisible. Lots of white space. Huge, crisp images of dogs staring blankly into the middle distance while wearing your premium fleece. You price the hoodies at a number that makes you physically wince, knowing full well that a high price tag translates to perceived value for your target demographic. If it's cheap, it's for a dog. If it requires financing, it's an investment in their fur child's self-esteem. You set up your targeted ads. You aim them directly at people who follow accounts dedicated solely to the dietary restrictions of purebred pugs. You launch, and then you wait. The first night, nothing happens. You refresh your dashboard. 0 sales. You stare at the screen, questioning your own genius, wondering if you are destined to spend the rest of your life answering emails that start with, "Per my last message." You go to sleep, a mild taste of defeat in your mouth. Then, the notification hits. It's a sound that will soon become the soundtrack of your liberation. You grab your phone. Someone in a zip code you've never heard of just paid an exorbitant amount of money for a dog hoodie. You immediately forward the shipping details to your vendor. You do the math. Your profit margin is borderline criminal. You just made more money while brushing your teeth than you did in the first 2 hours of your shift at the office. The dopamine spike is violent. You put on your own gray hoodie, pull it up, and stare at the mirror. You are a CEO now. By the end of the week, the trickle becomes a stream. By the end of the month, the stream is a flood. The sales funnel is a ruthless, efficient trap. People click the ad, they see the unamused Frenchie, they panic buy because the website says only 3 left in size extra chunky, and they check out before their rational brain can intervene. Your vendor is sweating. You know this because their emails are getting shorter and more frantic. You simply reply, "Keep up the good work, scaling ads tomorrow." You are a benevolent dictator. You never see a single piece of inventory. You never touch a cardboard box. You never interact with a shipping label. Your entire business exists inside your laptop. You are selling the concept of warmth and style for dogs, but mostly, you are selling status to their owners. The customer service emails start rolling in, and they are a masterclass in modern absurdity. My golden doodle Barnaby feels the armholes restrict his creative expression. You reply with an automated message about the ergonomic, tailored fit designed specifically for canine aerodynamics. They eat it up. They post 5-star reviews thanking you for understanding Barnaby's needs. Another customer complains that the muted slate gray clashes with their dog's autumn color palette. You offer a 10% discount on the upcoming winter charcoal drop. They buy 3. You are manipulating the target audience with the precision of a surgeon. You sit at your office desk during your 9 to 5, pretending to update a spreadsheet. In reality, you are adjusting your ad spend, scaling your winners, and killing your losers. Your boss walks by and praises your focus. You nod, smiling the serene smile of a person who just sold 65 miniature hoodies before lunch. You look at your boss, really look at them, and realize they probably buy your hoodies for their corgi. You are essentially their boss now. You control the supply of what makes them happy. The scaling phase is purely mathematical. It's not about dogs anymore. It's about data. It's about cost per acquisition and lifetime value. You realize you can upsell. If they buy a hoodie, they obviously need a matching minimalist leash. You source another vendor. Same deal. You send the logo, they do the labor. Your store expands. You are now a lifestyle brand. You are the supreme leader of a digital empire built on the back of pampered pets and automated supply chains. Your friends start noticing your relaxed demeanor. They ask if you've taken up meditation. You tell them you've optimized your energy architecture. They don't know what that means. You don't either, really. But it sounds exactly like something a successful entrepreneur would say. You stop caring about office politics. When Karen from accounting complains about the refrigerator etiquette, you just stare at her, mentally calculating how many dog hoodies her annual salary equates to. The vendor finally breaks. They send a desperate email begging for a pause. They have run out of the premium gray fleece. They are working night and day. You lean back in your chair. This is the bottleneck you anticipated. You don't panic. You pivot. You email your email list, a list you've carefully cultivated through your ruthless sales funnel, and announce a supply chain scarcity event. You tell them the gray hoodie is now a vaulted item. You introduce the Midnight Onyx colorway. It's literally just black. You charge 20% more for it. It sells out in 6 hours. You realize you have cracked the code of human psychology. People don't buy products. They buy urgency. They buy identity. And they buy an excuse to post a photo on the internet. You are merely the facilitator of their narcissism, taking a hefty toll at the digital bridge. The day you quit your 9 to 5 is remarkably anticlimactic. You don't flip a desk. You don't make a grand speech. You just walk into the manager's office, hand in a 2-week notice, and say you are pursuing independent ventures. They look at you with a mix of pity and confusion, assuming you are going to try and become a life coach or sell essential oils. You let them think that. You walk out of the building, feeling the sun on your face, knowing that somewhere, halfway across the world, a factory is churning out hundreds of tiny garments with your logo on them, and all you have to do is make sure your Wi-Fi connection is stable. You set up your new office. It's not a cubicle, it's wherever you want it to be. You sit there, wearing your signature blue polo, looking at the dashboard. The numbers tick up. The vendor handles the chaos. The customers handle the marketing by posting pictures of their dogs. You just sit at the center of the web, pulling the strings, a puppet master of pet apparel. You look back at the corporate grind. The commuting, the meetings that could have been emails, the performance reviews, the forced team-building exercises. It feels like a past life, a simulation you finally figured out how to unplug from. You didn't do it by working harder. You did it by working smarter. You found the inefficiency in the market, exploited the emotional vulnerabilities of pet owners, and outsourced the physical labor to a willing third party. You check your bank account. It looks like a phone number. You get an email from the vendor. They have hired more staff to keep up with your demand. You are creating jobs. You are a pillar of the global economy. All because you realize that a flat, cell-shaded, minimal logo slapped on a tiny piece of fabric could fund your freedom. You close your laptop. The day is yours. The empire runs itself. You have built a machine that converts the absurd love people have for their dogs into cold, hard currency. And the best part is, you never even owned a pet once.